So today we're going to be talking about something that I have been saying for a long, long time. I've been saying for a long time. And by the way, I was actually wrong with this. I said the statement plenty of times that by all metrics, the second most popular WNBA player was Sophie Cunningham. By all viewership metrics, by all when we're talking about the how many people are clicking on things, I said the second was Sophie Cunningham. And that was ahead of Caitlin Clark, that was behind Caitlin Clark, but ahead of Angel Reese, ahead of Paige Bueckers, ahead of Angel Wilson. I have made the statement that Sophie Cunningham was the second most relevant WNBA player. And I cannot stress this enough. I am admitting I was wrong. I'm admitting I was wrong. And was I wrong in a way that some people are saying that Paige and Angel are the faces of the league? Hell no. I'm wrong in a way of saying Sophie Cunningham might be the face of the league. Sophie Cunningham was the most searched WNBA athlete by far. She was in the top 10 in America. Obviously, this is in America because I'm going to be honest. When you've got 9 American athletes in the top, that's just not the case. Trust me, Ronaldo and Messi are still more viewed worldwide than any of these players, including Shedeur Sanders, who, I'm sorry, none of his teammates must have went to his birthday party. He must have lied about seeing the $100 or something. I don't understand how he fell so much in the NFL draft. I get it if people want to say, oh, there's attitude issues, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You don't go to become a 5th round pick. You just take him. Again, I don't know who half of these people are. I don't know who, don't know who Jackson Dart is. Don't know who Cam Scatabo is. Don't know who Jalen Carter is. Obviously know who Justin Rose is. And a lot of it is because of this situation here. Because of the takedown. A lot of it was because of that. Was because of the brawl. And nothing went more viral than that. The most random list ever. We're looking at a situation where I've said this as well. That the Indiana Fever, you don't understand how much. I think Sophie Cunningham probably made $1 million. She went from 200,000 TikTok followers to, I'm just going to say in a year. And I understand that having TikTok followers doesn't really mean anything. This is somebody on social media who is, I'm going to be honest, especially if you're looking at the old Twitter app, I have more followers than 99% of WNBA players. It's kind of irrelevant. I've made less than 1,000. Have I made less than 1,000? I've made less than 5,000 from TikTok in my life. So from Twitch or Twitter in my life. TikTok is obviously more, but it's not like she's posting stuff every single day that's being that is a brand post. Post a few of them, but not every day. But she's gone from 200,000 to 1.6 million followers. She's become one of the most followed players. And not only that, there was that time of the year where she was the most relevant WNBA player. And I don't think anyone can really question that around that time. Because if you guys, I tweeted this out and I was I want to thank Sophie Cunningham. I had 600,000 views in 48 hours on YouTube. It was the end of June? It was when I hit 50K. Sophie Cunningham got me 50K. But it was literally just, you would just make a Sophie Cunningham video and get 50,000 views. You would talk about Sophie Cunningham and it would get 50,000 views. There was this kind of weird, almost like the Cheryl Swoops scenario from the year before, where it was the general population, because if you guys don't remember the Cheryl Swoops situation, it was Nancy Lieberman versus Stephen A. Smith versus everything, and it was just a complete shit show. It was a complete shit show, and it was, you couldn't not watch. But then everything that was happening with Sophie Cunningham, you were seeing everything, and I think a lot of people were absolutely for lack of a better way of describing it, everybody was just, because Sophie Cunningham was relatively popular before that, but she instantly became okay, because the general perspective in the public was players are trying to hurt Caitlin Clark. that was basically what people were saying was everyone was, or the players are trying to hurt Caitlin Clark. And then the clip went around of the Connecticut Sun playing ping pong with playing pinball with Caitlin Clark. And then the Sophie Cunningham situation happened, where it was literally like I just remember just on this channel here. Like, I was there, Sophie Cunningham starts brawl, gets ejected, Caitlin Clark attacked, yada yada. Stephanie White loses it at refs, Caitlin Clark turns on demon mode. Sophie Cunningham jersey sold out. Sophie Cunningham responds. WNBA refs respond. New angle shows Caitlin Clark cheap shots worse. Angel Reese smacked Kiki Iriafen that same night and no one remembered. Upgrade from Marina Mabry. Rival fans start petition to get rid of Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham responds to the petition to ban her. Like, it was literally Sophie Cunningham responds. It was everything. Everything was just talking about Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham boosts Sophie. She almost 1 million TikTok followers. 16K. Sophie Cunningham gets 1 million TikTok followers. She reveals the fine. Actually, Demita got fired in that day. Like, that was the craziest shit ever. That was actually just, it was mad. It was absolutely mad. And I know it wasn't exactly basketball, but I have to stand by this. Like, it was one of those things with with Sophie Cunningham where it was one of the maybe 3 times in the year that I will stand by it. The WNBA broke back into popular culture. And I don't think the WNBA did a good job of that last year. There were so many times where the WNBA in the year of 2024 was in popular culture. There were so many times. And I'm going to be honest, the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark first game of the season, Caitlin Clark versus the Liberty, and the Sophie Cunningham situation were, in my opinion, they were the only real 3 times that the WNBA broke back into what I would say is that it broke back into popular culture. Maybe when Caitlin Clark went on that 3 quarters run or 3 halves run where the Fever looked unstoppable against the Atlanta Dream and the Dallas Wings, and then she got hurt again, and it was that all-star injury that kind of took all the zap out of the season. And that's the thing where it's like, and I don't think people realize when it comes to these players, is that even if it's just not Sophie Cunningham, if it's Lexi Hull, if it's Aaliyah, if it's Angel herself, if it's Kennedy Carter a year ago, like there are storylines that have to be there in sports. And I think one of the big things with the 2024 season is a lot of people don't remember that there were more storylines than just Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Kennedy Carter was a storyline. Angel Reese, Kennedy Carter, Marina Mabry leaving the sun and going back to, or leaving the sky and going back to the sky, and the team ignoring her. That was a storyline. And it was one of those things where all these players became super relevant. Like, all these things were super relevant a year ago. And now you've got a situation where you've got came into a season where there was no real storylines. A bad Aces team won a championship. A bad Aces team faced a good Phoenix team who choked in the finals, who beat like an injured Minnesota team, and an Aces team who shouldn't have even made it out of the first round won the championship. Like, a bad Aces team won a championship. And that's like in a sweep in the finals. And the Fever were the only story of the playoffs, realistically. But yeah, it's an interesting one anyway to think about. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree that Sophie Cunningham is, absolutely a key piece? And do you guys believe that she's as popular as she is? I don't think there's any belief that I wouldn't even question this. I wouldn't even question this list. Especially in the United States, I would not question this list at all, if I'm being honest. And Sophie Cunningham above Caitlin Clark. Am I surprised? Yes. Do I believe it? Abso-fucking-lutely.